Yo, what's good with y'all? It's your boy Nick back with another video. Today we are reacting to Things Aren't Looking Good for Bronny James. Let's get straight into it.
Be watching the last days of Bronny James in the NBA. I know that sounds crazy, but there's proof. How? Well, it's not his terrible preseason so far. Has nothing to do with that. It's all about his dad, LeBron, who got him this job in the NBA to begin with, which pissed people off. But why? Who cares? What about the Antetokounmpo brothers? Giannis now has two brothers on the Milwaukee Bucks. How is that any different or worse?
Well, nah, that is crazy right there, though. But the difference with that is that they actually worked to get to the point that they were at. Like, they were playing professionally before all that. With Bronny just got into the league because of LeBron.
Well, first of all, Alex is on a two-way deal, so not officially an NBA roster spot. But it's different because the Bucks aren't constantly telling us how great Thanasis and Alex are. Can you imagine if they had these two guys on the Bucks while also trying to sell them as the future of the team? Dude, people would be slamming Milwaukee for that. But instead, we kind of let it go because at least they're honest. We all know it's to keep their star happy, so do what you gotta do. But Bronny? From day one, it's been a lie. Like, kid missed double-digit games at USC, averaged 5 points a game after cardiac arrest. In any other world, he would return to school for another year. But not in LeBron's world. He couldn't wait to fulfill his little dream of playing with his son in the NBA. We all knew that's what it was about.
Now, the hype for Bronny is real. It's not just on the internet. I've went to Summer League. The whole arena will be filled with Laker fans just to watch Bronny, and they're chanting every time Bronny gets the ball. Like, the arena will be empty if it's any other team playing. If it was the number one overall pick playing, it would be empty. But as soon as Bronny and the Lakers playing, they flood it.
When Atlanta wants a new Mazda,
like, it's crazy.
Red Case makes driving a new Mazda affordable.
I don't care about that.
But what did the Lakers say to their fans?
I want to clarify one thing you just said, which is Rob and I did not give Bronny anything. Bronny has earned this.
Oh, sure. Which immediately made people hate Bronny. But it's not even his fault. He's just going along with his dad's plan. But now it is time to stand on his own 2 feet, because dad ain't around much longer. Bronny has to prove he belongs in the NBA. So how is that going? Well, in this video, a deep dive film study on the very latest from Bronny. But before we get there, how about that proof of why this might be the end for Bronny in the NBA? But I was doing a little decorating, still, because where today the ideal in 7 yards with you can get a month each game that LeBron has with no team for next year. But sciatica, this injury that LeBron has is no joke. A sign that at least his body wants to retire. But that's not all. When Bronny was drafted, he got a nearly $8 million deal with the first 2 years guaranteed. But this next season is year 3, which means the Lakers can cut this kid free and clear, no questions asked. The stars are lining up for Bronny to get a call from Adam Silver saying, "Get ready to learn Chinese, buddy." But hold up. There is one way for Bronny to save his career. If he finally becomes that player that LA says he's supposed to be, this all goes away. So how is that going? Well, once again, before preseason, JJ Redick was asked about Bronny. He said, "I've just felt like all of preseason. He just looks more comfortable and confident. He's a totally different player than he was a year ago." Really? Amazing! So what is totally different looking like right now?
Now, I'm going to give him credit, though. He did play better in Summer League than what he did the year before, but he still isn't as good as most of the players that played in Summer League that deserve a roster spot.
Well, shooting could unlock Bronny's offensive game, but that's never been his strength. In college, he shot 26% from deep, one season in the NBA, 28%. But from the preseason so far, that ain't really improved. Bronny has gone 2 for 13 from 3 over 4 preseason games. That is 15% from deep. But looking at his mechanics, the form's pretty good. Numbers are down though because of 2 main things. Most of his looks are either off the dribble or contested. And for 95% of players, the more difficult their shot diet is, the lower the numbers. But the thing that frustrates people most about Bronny's game is this: often lackadaisical, laid back, and non-aggressive off the ball. I mean, look at this play in transition. Bronny just jogs back behind the ball. Does that look like a guy fighting for a roster spot? And that lack of activity bleeds into the half court. Take this play for example. The ball here is going to get driven toward the left block, but as it gets picked up, Bronny on the opposite wing should relocate, create a passing angle. That would either lead to an open three or a closeout. But look at how he just stays shifted up. Makes it easier for this defender to stay in the passing lane. And the Lakers from here get no advantage from that paint touch. So in terms of off the ball, Bronny's not a real threat. What about on it? After all, he opened preseason as the backup point guard against Phoenix and Golden State. Well, first with the ball, Bronny isn't very good at absorbing pressure. If he is dealing with defenders who are quicker, longer, and more physical, basically everybody at the NBA level, it's pretty easy to get him sped up off the dribble. Then out of pick and roll, he's inefficient from all three levels at 6'3" and doesn't do work off ball.
To be honest, I feel like he should just stayed in college for one more year. Just one more. Like, if he would have stayed in college for one more year, he probably would have been more solid and more of a complete player than what he is now.
Make things easier, but Bronny's passing is one part of his game that's gotten a lot better. He has been able to find the roller with nicely timed lob passes or needle these tight pocket dimes. But the thing is with the Lakers, they've already got two all-time great passers. So what do they need? 3 and D. So how is that defense? Well, this is literally the first defensive possession of the preseason. Should be hyped. But look how his back is turned as the ball crosses half court. Unfocused. Bronny is a step behind as the action takes place. How is he that inconsistent already? So for a guy who is under 6'5" and not super talented offensively, you have got to be a dog to win on the margins. But so far, that ain't Bronny. Now, the one bright spot for Bronny actually was his G League play last season. He averaged about 19 points in the G League on 38% from three. He even scored 39 points against.
But the thing is, like, the G League, almost every player's stats like inflate when they play in the G League. Like Sharif Cooper, like most people that got sent down to the G League, they end up playing better. I just feel like Bronny just need more time to develop. He's not a bad player. It's just he needs to develop, and he didn't give himself time to develop at all.
Santa Cruz. 39 in a pro basketball game is awesome no matter what. But the downside of that is those stats rarely translate to the NBA. The reason is NBA teams generally want role players from the G League. Their big-time scorer is already on the NBA roster making a huge contract. That's why of the last 20-plus G League MVPs, basically none of them have done a thing in the NBA. So Bronny's G League success is not some guarantee, and neither is his roster spot, because at 6'3", if he is not an awesome defender like Gary Payton II on the Warriors, what does he bring? I mean, the Lakers' three best players already have shaky defense: Austin Reeves, Luka, and LeBron. Why is Bronny on this team? It is sketchy, because wasting a roster spot on Bronny is a big deal for LA, who needs all the help they can get. I mean, adding Thanasis might not matter that much on a team like the Bucks, who aren't real contenders, but the Lakers could jump into that contender tier with the right move. But right now, the Nuggets and Thunder are so far ahead of them. Like, we know OKC are defending champs, but the Nuggets have the #1 player in the world surrounded by depth. In fact,
I ain't gonna lie, the Nuggets have built a solid team around Jokic and Jamal. They got a solid team.
this is the best team Nikola Jokic has ever had. Do you know how dangerous that is? But the Lakers? Oh, they need one big upgrade at least this season, and that ain't Bronny James. But I don't want this to be all negative, okay? He can save his career with a big season. At least show more than he has in this preseason. I don't see the improvement so far, but LeBron James is out. He could be out a lot this year. That will mean more minutes and opportunity for Bronny. But if he doesn't take that chance, then Bronny might be retiring along with his dad here pretty quick. But if you want to hear about a good ending to a story of a young player,
shout out AM Hoops for the W video. I'm not gonna lie, he just needs to develop more, for real. Like he didn't have time in college to develop. He didn't have time in the NBA to develop so far. How he's played in summer league hasn't been that good. It's been decent, but it hasn't been that good. He just needs time to develop. If the Lakers give him one more season after this, or if LeBron stay in the league, a little more, he could develop into trying to be a better player. But yeah, let me know what y'all think in comments. I'm out.